For years, Sammy Jackson dedicated his life to shaping young athletes, guiding them toward success both on and off the basketball court. As a former college basketball coach, he had helped mold the futures of countless students, earning a reputation as a kind, respected, and passionate mentor. But in January 2025, the 59-year-old suddenly vanished without a trace after leaving home to complete a routine rideshare trip. Days later, his bullet-riddled body was discovered in a wooded area in northwest Atlanta, the victim of a brutal, unexplained murder. Who killed Coach Jackson? And could the key to solving his murder lie with a mysterious rideshare passenger who has now become a person of interest?
She hadn't heard from him, and it was around 2, and it was about 2 in the morning. She messaged his phone, saying, "Hey, is everything okay? I haven't heard from you. You plan on going to work tomorrow?"
He went to Dollar General.
If he was doing rides, the call, we would talk basketball, talk about the kids.
Samuel Jackson wasn't just a basketball coach. He was a mentor, a motivator, and a pillar of his community. Over the years, he had held head coaching positions at Fort Valley State University and Savannah State University, leaving a lasting impact on the programs and the players he led. His coaching career also included assistant roles at the University of Alabama, Georgia Southern University, Alabama A&M University, and Tennessee State University. Former players and colleagues described him as someone who truly cared, not just about winning games, but about building character and shaping young men's futures. After stepping away from coaching, Jackson began working as a rideshare driver, a job that allowed him flexibility while staying active. But in an instant, what seemed like a simple night of driving turned into a nightmare. On the night of January 27, 2025, Jackson left his home in Houston County, Georgia, to pick up a passenger for a rideshare job. He never returned. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. When Jackson failed to come home or answer calls, his wife, Jill Jackson, grew concerned. He was always reliable, never one to disappear without a word. After multiple unsuccessful attempts to contact him, she reported him missing to police.
Like, why do you need your social security number? You should know your social security number. So that really was a red flag. So then I immediately tried to call. And at that point, it started going straight to voicemail.
Authorities immediately launched an investigation, tracing his last known location and any recent transactions. But there were no immediate signs of where he had gone or what had happened after he picked up the unknown passenger. 2 days later, investigators made their first major discovery, but it wasn't the news anyone had hoped for. On January 29, 2025, Samuel Jackson's abandoned vehicle was found over 100 miles south of Atlanta, in Houston County. There was no sign of Jackson himself, but the fact that his car was left behind immediately raised red flags. That same day, authorities made an even more chilling discovery. In a remote wooded area in northwest Atlanta, investigators found Jackson's lifeless body. He had been shot multiple times, his body left in the wilderness as if someone had wanted to erase all traces of him. It was now clear, this wasn't just a disappearance. This was a homicide. But who would want Samuel Jackson dead? And why? As investigators worked to retrace Jackson's last movements, they focused on the last passenger he had picked up before his disappearance. Police soon identified a person of interest, a man who had requested a ride in Houston County on the night Jackson went missing. This individual was later arrested on unrelated robbery charges, and authorities are now investigating whether he had any direct involvement in Jackson's murder. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. Nor have they confirmed whether they believe robbery was the motive. However, given that Jackson's car was abandoned far from where his body was found, authorities believe his murder was deliberate, calculated, and possibly premeditated. Now, the big question remains, was Jackson targeted, or was he simply in the wrong place at the wrong time? News of Coach Jackson's tragic death sent shockwaves through the basketball world and beyond. Former players, friends, and colleagues expressed grief and disbelief that such a respected and kind-hearted man could meet such a violent end. Many recalled how Jackson had helped shape their futures, offering guidance, discipline, and encouragement long after their playing days were over. One former athlete, now a coach himself, shared, "Coach Jackson taught us more than just basketball. He taught us about life, respect, and perseverance. To think that someone took him from us like this. It's heartbreaking. His family and friends continue to grieve, struggling to make sense of how someone they loved so dearly could be taken so suddenly and so violently.
A slight sense of satisfaction in the sense knowing that the opportunity for justice is en route.
As authorities work to build their case, they are focusing on Jackson's final rideshare trip and whether the passenger he picked up that night is directly responsible for his murder. Police are currently analyzing surveillance footage from areas near where Jackson was last seen, cell phone records to track possible suspect movements, ballistics evidence from the gunshot wounds that killed him. Although no one has yet been formally charged with his murder, investigators remain confident that justice will be served. While the search for Jackson's killer continues, one thing is certain: his legacy will not be forgotten. He was more than a coach. He was a mentor, a leader, and a man who left an indelible mark on the lives he touched. For now, his loved ones hold on to hope for justice, knowing that whoever took his life will one day have to answer for it. The basketball world mourns the loss of a great coach, but his impact, his lessons, and his memory will live on forever. And as the investigation unfolds, one thing remains clear: the truth will come out, and Samuel Jackson's story will not end in silence. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos.